الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وصحابته أجمعين أما بعد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وكذلك جعلناكم أمة وسطا لتكونوا شهداء على الناس ويكون الرسول عليكم شهيدا. وقال تعالى كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إنما بعثت لأتمم مكارم الأخلاق وفي رواية لأتمم حسن الخلق. So again, I'll have to take excuse. As you see, my Urdu is not qabil istimal, only in family circles. So if anything is not understood, just let me know and I'll try and explain in Urdu, but hopefully you'll be able to follow. I will say nothing that you haven't heard already. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has called this ummah wasat. And wasat, as you all know, Shi'a ulama hazarats, it has two basic meanings. One is that it is the balanced ummah, bain al-ifrati wa tafrit, which you don't see in the ummah today. Either we're mufrit or we're mufarrit, unfortunately. But we're supposed to give that balanced, example to the world. The other meaning of wasat, yani awsat, the best. And both of these, it's not this or that, it is all. So we have been sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the best ummah, the most balanced ummah, and also a shahid upon all the other ummahs. And as Dr. Saab mentioned, we live in a time, unprecedented time of fitan. And we had Palestine on the agenda, and there's a lot that can be said about that. I would just want to mention this much, and then I leave the Medan for yourselves to think and decide what is to be done. But part of our whole scheme of Ubudiyya business model. So in other words, our business is not for making money, it's not for filling our pockets. It's a very, maqsad dali jiddan. That's like Qarun, that's like, Rothschild, that's like, Donald Trump. This is nothing badi maqsad nahi. But the badi maqsad is that our businesses, our resources, inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya wa mamati lillahi rabbil alameen. So it's from Allah and it's to Allah. And that's the whole concept of ubudiyya, that this is not mine. The money is not mine. The business is not mine. The resources are not mine. The intelligence Allah gave us is not mine. Yani ulum, fahm, talents, skills, it's not mine. Allah gave us. It's an amanat. Interestingly, when we first started UBM, so to tell you the truth, folks, actually I am from the streets of America. I don't have an education. I dropped out of school. I was a professional musician, the farthest away you could be from Islam, in many senses. And now after accepting Islam, then I thought, now, yes, rather than music, what about the music of the sky? So Arabic language, the ulum al-Islamiyya. And being involved in activism, being involved in things that were important to us, our generation in the 1960s. Seeing the ills and the evils of society, the ills of corporate. My own mother, who died a couple of years ago, we were raised from the childhood to inspect and observe and question what's going on in society. What are we doing? What is our government doing? What are we doing? What are the trends? Is this correct? Is this incorrect? Should we support? Should we oppose? So after accepting Islam, then I realized that now this is the real way of life. Now I need to study this and learn this. So then I learned whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enabled me to learn. And coming from that background of activism, so if I have any expertise it is to see what perhaps others don't see. As a musician, that's also what we used to do. We try and vision things that other people don't see and express it. So where I would see a deficiency in the ummah, and after I became a Muslim, I saw so many deficiencies, not only myself, but throughout the ummah. This is the ummah that's supposed to guide humanity. We know humanity is lost totally. Yani gumra'i mutlaq. Ye jama bain al-Urdu wal-Arabi. Yani gumra'i mutlaq. Yani. You can put that in your new qamus, you know. And so, therefore, if humanity is in total loss, innal insana lafi khusr, yani waqi, we see this manifest in everything. So, one of the deficiencies that I saw was that, and we, particularly we who are connected with madaris, yani madaris parhane wale, we live in a very comfortable, bubbly world. Bubble, kya kehte hai Urdu? Bulbula. Yeah? MashaAllah. Yani Ustad Saab, yani Makhdoom, he's like king in his, you know, really, subhanAllah, it's the closest thing to Rodam in Riyadh al-Jannah. We live in the Rodam in Riyadh al-Jannah, but outside. Maulana bin Nuri rahmatullahi, yani, he said one time that if we don't make an effort outside the madrasa, the ahwal outside the madrasa will come into the madrasa. ये सारी फितन फसाद जो बाहर अगर कोशिश नहीं करते तो वो सारी अंदर आएगा. सलाब जो बात है किसी को स्पेयर नहीं करते ना. So this is the world we live in now. Really, I've lived in this planet for 74 years. I have never seen anything like what we see today. I've seen a lot. I've been around the world, in America, everywhere. Vietnam War, civil rights, we had so many issues. I have never seen anything like this. And all the people of my age, we all say, Muslim, non-Muslim, we have never seen an age like what we see today. And if you just take a look at what's going on in Palestine, you'll see what's going on in the Middle East. It's a kind of, it's a meter to tell us what the world is into. Ye kya position hai? So my question is, as Dr. Saab asked, where is the hal? Who is going to guide humanity out of this mess? Ye saari mess ye kaun guide kar sakte? No government is going to do it. No government cares. No country cares. The only people that can solve the problems of humanity is this ummah who believes in what this ummah's turath is, this Quran and Sunnah, and present it manifestly, openly and practically. This is the only hope for humanity. Otherwise, there is no hope. Abhi elections are. You have Donald Trump, you have Joe Biden. No, you have Kamala Harris. That's even worse. You know? But you look anywhere. What options do we have? So it's the people who are going to take initiative by themselves. This is one thing I like about Pakistan. People ask me, why do you live in Pakistan? Why did you live? I'm still kind of here. But I lived here for 35 years. In America, they don't believe. You live in Pakistan for 30? Pakistanis ask me, not Americans. Pakistan, you lived in Pakistan for 35 years? How did you do that? And why did you do that? We all want to go to America. Why in the world would you? I said, this is why. Because in Pakistan, you can do what you want to do. Jo bhi karna hai, ye kar sakte. Good, bad, otherwise. But I'll tell you another thing. In Pakistan, you have, this is my observation, I have never seen any country in the world where the per capita of brilliant people, and when I say brilliant, I don't mean academia. I'm not saying academia are not brilliant. But the most brilliant people I've seen are in Liaqatabad, Golimar, Liari, Wahi. In my organization, Al Khair, jo MBA log, bilkul fuzul, sorry. Lums graduate BA, IBA graduate BA, kuch bhi nahi. वो जो लियारी वो गोलीमार वो जो ये बिल्कुल street sense, they give the best mashwara, And I have a lot of stories for that. वही case study आपने हो सकते हैं. So here you have incredibly intelligent people, incredible resources. But we don't have guidance. And we don't have objective, we don't have maqsad in front of us, You know, the dangerous people in the world are the intelligent ones. यानी जो इंसान यानी गबी वो खतरनाक नहीं. यानी ذكي, he's the difficult one. He can be, an angel and he can be a devil. And if he's a devil, then we have Hitlers, we have Fir'auns, we have, these were all ذكي, أذكياء, So the world is in a very precarious situation. It's an unprecedented fitan, it's an unprecedented, disarray, and it's also an unprecedented ma'yusi. Yes. They don't see any, they know they don't have any sensation. You see now on YouTube, what's going on in Palestine, what's going on in the economy, what's going on in the world, We don't know what's going to happen. We don't see any way out. Waqi, they don't have any way out. We have all the solutions. हमारे पास सब कुछ है. So this is a bigger picture. It's not simply we'll guide some organizations. The big picture is, the big picture ye hai, okay, we are going to guide humanity. And we're going to guide humanity by showing them practically what Islam is in all facets of life. So this is the mission here. And for that we have to, and this is, I have to say, I'm really, really, really excited because this is something we wanted to see for a long time. Abhi to मुख्तलिफ यानी नए हज़रात से आ गया. ये हमारा old faces, we've been seeing each other, we're tired of seeing each other, we see. I know you're tired of seeing me because you've been seeing me all this time. New faces, young fellow, and whenever I see the youngsters, I start thinking I'm young. People ask me, how old are you? I said, it depends on what company I keep. There's two things, what company that I keep and what time of day is it. अगर सुबह हो तो मैं नौजवान हो, ये ईशा के बाद तो मैं बहुत बुरा हूँ. And secondly, if I'm with youngsters, I forget I'm a youngster. And if I'm with the old people, then maybe बुरा हो गया. So seeing you youngsters, you young, the young ulama and with the knowledge of Quran and Sunnah, mashallah, thinking about the guidance of humanity, this is very exciting. It means that there's hope. It means it is an alama from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He wants khair for insaniyat. And ultimately we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put Islam into every house. Har ghar ke andar aayega. Kis tarah aayega? If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses us, He put bari baat. So I was going to say, so I don't know how to do anything, but I have a little bit of insight into things. I see things and I think something needs to be done. So what do? I don't know how to do anything. So I call Dr. Saab, I call Faisal, I call Atif, I call Rizvi. Hey, look, let's do something. So my idea was, 2014, ये सारी हज़ारात जमा हो जाएगा, इसका कुछ बना रहा, और मैं अस्सलाम वालेकुम. I'll see you later, next project. लेकिन मजबूर हो गया. I don't know why. They keep pushing me and I keep having to make these speeches, etc. But this is not my work. Waqi. I don't know anything about all of these things. The only thing I know about is that we are the ummah to guide mankind. And we need to do that in every shu'bah. And for doing that, the people in those shu'bahs, they have to have this objective, they have to have this perception, they need to have these perceptions, and they need to have the skill sets and the way to do it. The why and the how. And mashallah, you're the nucleus, inshallah, of this. And this is going to, inshallah, continue. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants khair, He puts the khair, the intention of khair into some of His ibad, and the rest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's tawfiq is there. So, I'm very excited. It may seem that maybe we have not come away with a multiple number of tangibles that we can, mahsus, that we can define, that we can measure, but I think we've done a huge thing. The suggestions that have been given are wonderful. The very fact that we've joined together, the very fact that we've made a platform, the very fact that we've made networking, The very fact that we have now irada to continue and continuously, on a monthly basis, wonderful intervention. Inshallah, thumma inshallah, we're going to see great things, inshallah, in the future. In spite of the unprecedented fitan, in spite of the difficult problems and obstacles that we're facing, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all tawfiq. So, having said that,
About CSR, you wanted to speak
about what?
about Palestine issue?
So what I wanted to mention, I had a whole idea concerning that. Regarding Palestine, this is something obviously, this is not simply an issue for the Middle East, but as we, as Muslims, of course these are our brothers and our sisters, right? Number two, the fact that we are Muslims who have influence. We are Muslims who are engaged in organizations. We have resources, we have influence, so what do we do with that? How can that be utilized? This is part of our corporate responsibility. Social, this is now part of business ethics worldwide. And usually it's all PR and there's really no substance behind it. We're doing this social work, we're helping you. But that is exactly what our institutions are for. Our institutions are for khayrun nas anfa'uhum linnas. That's for people all over. What about our own people? And they're suffering the way that people are suffering now. We see in Palestine, we see now in Lebanon, we see in various places in the world. What is our responsibility as an organization, as a corporation, with the resources and the talents and the positioning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us? So for that, since the time is constricted, and also the fact that we don't want to take too much attention off of the specific mawdu that we're focused on, I will leave you all with this note, with this fikr, that we're all intelligent people, we're all responsible people, we all understand what resources and possibilities Allah has given us. What can we do for the situation? So I would invite individuals and collectively to think what it is that we can do. We have been doing not much of anything. And lastly, I would say, in America now, we see in the Palestine struggle, the people on the forefront of the protests and the activism are who? The Jews. This might seem strange to many of you, but the fact is that more Jewish organizations are pro-Palestine and anti-Israel and protesting in the name of the Palestinian cause more aggressively than most of the Muslims, because they realize that they have an organization called Not in Our Name. In other words, in our name you're doing all of this, but Judaism doesn't mean this. We have, in Judaism they have the thing called the 10 Commandments. 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not kill. The first commandment is Tawheed. Thou shalt not take any God except Allah. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not this. They are all part of our Sharia. So what they're doing in Israel is thou shalt kill, thou shalt steal, thou shalt this, thou shalt that. So the Jewish people are saying, this is bad publicity for us. This is why people hate the Jews, because you're doing all that stuff. Okay. So they are putting themselves on the front line. They are stopping train stations. They are getting on the ships, the ships that are sending the weapons to Israel. They stop those ships. They take their whole collective and they stop those ships. So they're doing quite a lot. So what are we doing? What can we do? What is it possible for us to do? So for that I would invite all of us to think individually as well as collectively, what is our part and what is our responsibility? Not only as individuals but also as organizations with extra resources, with extra positioning. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq, and for that would require a whole separate session. This is not the place for the details of that, but I'm placing this because this is a huge issue, and this is probably the most important geopolitical event that has taken place definitely in my lifetime, and probably, if not more than at least 100 years. And since we know, those of us with knowledge of Sharia and Sunnah, the alamat, the sahat, if there's anything wadiyah, this is we don't need to speak more. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq, again, as He's given us tawfiq together on these platforms, that also these separate individual responsibilities that we have, may Allah give us tawfiq to address them and do something meaningful to correct them. Ameen, thumma ameen. Dua.